It's an overcast Saturday morning. I slept in a little bit. Today it is 10 o'clock and I'm just now leaving the house. I wasn't concerned with going to yard sales today. It was supposed to be raining when we got up, and I had decided whether it was raining or not, I wasn't going to fight it. And I have a few estate sales that I might go to. I haven't decided that for sure. But I'm headed out mainly to Batesville, Mississippi, which is about a 40-minute trip for me from South Haven, Mississippi, where I live. There's a place called the Cotton Antique Warehouse, I believe is the full name of it. Cotton Warehouse is what everybody calls it. Got a friend of mine, Calvin, that has had the type of stuff that I have in my storage from a shop. He has those type of things in his booths there. He started out, I believe, with just one booth, and I think he's grown to like 4 booths or something down there. And he apparently makes good enough money down there. The booth rent is extremely cheap, so it's worth the 40-minute drive for me. The booth rent is $50 a month. They're open on Wednesday, Thursday through Saturday, I believe. Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And they take 15% above the booth rent, unless you work your booth on Saturday, which they encourage the vendors to do because sales are always better for everybody. And I'm quite certain that the owner, Mary Alice, has her own booth and things like that. It's better for everybody. It's the busiest day of the 3 days, I'm quite certain. If you work your booth, you get all of your profits that day. It's just a little old country place. There's some some different outlets down there, retail outlets and stuff like that that draw people in, and a variety of situations. I had gotten out of all of my booths and was focusing on doing a selected amount of estate sales. I guess I can turn my car off, huh? A selected amount of estate sales because I was cutting back on a lot of my time, doing a lot more on the reselling online and all of that, which I still am. And as of this week, I made a general announcement on my Facebook page, my personal one and my business one, that I am no longer going to host estate sales. I might do a random one here and there for family or friends if it's something that's a really unique situation or something that my family needs my skills to handle, a family estate or something like that, or an occasional friend estate. But I have just retired that portion of my business, which is a pretty big step for me. This is what I do full-time. I was doing the estate sales more full-time, the reselling online and, you know, in sales like at Becky's in Lake Commer. That's going to officially be an estate sale, I guess. So that's really an ongoing. And I've been liquidating my things that are kind of chunky and big and don't ship well and all of that. I've been liquidating those over at that estate, in addition to liquidating the things that she wants to sell from her antique shop and her home and so forth. Downsizing, and I'll continue to do that, and that will be advertised officially, I guess, as an estate sale. But that's really going to be the only ongoing that I'm going to do. I've kind of flip-flopped my business to where I am full-time online reseller, liquidator, if you want to call it that, and part-time, I guess, estate liquidator as far as hosting estate sales. So I'm mildly excited about that. I do well dealing with the public and things like that. I've been in very public businesses. I've owned several businesses over time. I won't bore you with that here. And I've always dealt well with the public and things like that. But the public is changing. And I decided I'm going to change with it. People are getting very difficult to deal with. And me being basically a private person that is in the public eye and public sector, I don't really dig that right now. I'm sure there are those of you out there that understand. It's funny because I've always worked for myself, almost always worked for myself. I've had a few jobs where I've worked for someone else, but I've always worked for myself pretty much. But you still are working for someone else if you're in the estate business, of course. And that's as it should be. But I like buying the unique items and flipping them a whole lot more than biting my tongue. And so I've gotten to a point that it's just time for me to move along. There are a lot of estate companies down in this area, and I can enjoy it a lot more and flip a lot more product going in and buying behind them, because frankly a lot of them don't do their due diligence on some of their items, especially the smalls, because they don't like to fool with them. They like the big stuff. They like the things that are the artwork and memorabilia and things like that, and that's not necessarily what I'm going in for. Those are going to be need to look at items just in case, you know, they've got something mispriced or whatever. But I'm about to be got junk in our trunk liquidation services. Got junk in our trunk liquidations. I'm going to go in and I'm going to liquidate in my favor. And I'm going to go in and see what I can find. I'm going to be the Nancy Drew of estate sales. It's kind of boded well when I've gone to other estate sales. I can go right in, and just because of the skills that I've been able to use, I can go in and I can purchase for myself now. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. I don't mean this intro to be a Debbie Downer. It's actually not at all. I am one that, it's funny because I am a chameleon. I am very much a chameleon. I will change with my environment and blend in if I need to. But I can also be, I guess, a butterfly. I can burst out of that cocoon and go and do my own thing. This is me bursting. So some of my videos are going to change a little bit. I will be able to film inside some estates, like some of the other resellers do and things like that. I'll probably at some point in time, you know, get a different camera to where I can do things like that. I'm really kind of funny about that because of the business that I've been in. I know about the privacy factor, and I just feel like that I have to be a little bit different when I go in. So I may not film, but I can at least show you the hauls that I've made. Just in general, the type of things that are there, as long as the family's privacy is protected. I just feel like that's something that I need to do. Because technically, on paper, and at least with the Secretary of State down here, I am still an estate sale company. So, there's that in a nutshell. Now, I'm going to go and get me a drink, and I'm headed to Batesville, Mississippi to check out this booth, and I'll take you with me. So what did Nancy Drew buy? They had a lot of nice things in there. I got one of the Tiny Tot Tails, Grandpapa and Me. That's selling for around $7.99. Sometimes free shipping. I'm going to try and sell that on Etsy. I'll probably do a little book lot. I bought myself a paper cutter. Let's see if I can show you the brand. Carl, they run a lot more in the store, but they're selling for around $12 right now. Gave $2 for it. I gave $1 for the book. And then I got these. Let's see if I can pull it here. That's some of the vintage Venus Blue Band pencils. Widely overlooked. These are around a $12 item. You can find them that haven't been sharpened. I gave $1 for it. I've got about 6 that are sharpened in here, and I actually will probably give these to my granddaughter rather than try and sell them. So I got around, let's see if I can open it. This is not easy to do. I need a GoPro. See, those open up, each side opens up, and it's that many pencils in there. About mid-60s, something like that. And of course it's got the case that closes here. My granddaughter will probably end up with those. I don't know. I might. I've got a lot of the adult coloring books, and I'll have more time on my hands, right? We'll see. It's about $30 worth of stuff that I purchased for $4 plus tax. They do charge tax down here, so I'm totally not missing being the person inside selling stuff. I think I'm gonna like my new job. This one might be interesting. Just getting in and out of this place will be interesting, I think. It's got one driveway. This is the former owner of Easy Way Markets. I think it's nationwide. It may only be in the South. Who knows? I don't even know if we have any Easy Ways anymore, to tell you the truth, because I've started shopping at Aldi's. So, we shall see. This ought to be good. And if Saturn, I'm going to pull barely off and see if we can not get stuck. This ought to be a pretty good one. We'll see what happens here. This is the second day of this one, so it ought to be pretty interesting. Let me get the camera. That's the house. I've already had a friend that's bought a lot of things here, and he gave me a tip on it, so I figure I'll go look. Alright, so on this one, I found this little booger in a box. You know what that is? It's put out by Ottoman. It's an Ottoman company bird call. I couldn't find the box for it. The box would have probably increased the value by about probably $5 to $10, something like that. This is probably worth around 10 to 12, something like that. Depends on the day. I will probably try and sell it on Etsy, actually, rather than eBay. I may cross-post it. I buy a lot of these little things, and then I'll throw them in. If I sell a typewriter or something, I'll put in a little vintage piece like this. This is one of the cleaners, brush. Gave 50 cents a piece for these. Then, Miss Daisy is not conducive to doing this, so I have to kind of jiggle it around. Videos aren't going to be good, but you get the gist of it. I found a Gin & Company, like the Gin Readers, Gin & Company, all the year-round autumn book. Books were $2, and then they discounted those. Today was a 30% discount, so got that. I collect some of the older, just kind of weird hillbilly recipes, things like that. All of the books were $2 a piece minus the 30% discount. Found a Willie Nelson, the classic unreleased collection. no barcode. It may have been one that came out. There was a cassette collection that came out. A lot of good photos in here. If I can't sell it as a whole edition like this for around 15, something like that, I'll probably I'll use my paper cutter. That's what I'll do. I'll use my paper cutter that I just bought, and I will cut the photos out, mat those, and sell them at some of my garage sales and things. And then last but not least, this is a little treasure. This is actually a leather. It's made in Taiwan, which doesn't really make a difference on something like this. Deerskin trading post. But this is a leather belt. You see it's got the hook here and it hooks in around the back, and it's one that this is the front facing, but that's peacock feathers. It does have a few issues. I don't know if you can see it in the light, but right about where my fingernail is, it's got a few little issues, a little bit of cracking, but not on the back so much. The back looks pretty good, actually. I ended up paying, what did I end up paying? I think $8.50 or $8.78 or something like that with tax and everything, because they do charge tax, of course. And I have a resale number and all of that, but I don't always do that because some of these things I use for myself, so I just kind of decide what I want to do. But anyway, this will probably effectively sell for around $25. So that was a cool little pickup there. So headed to Batesville. It's getting late. What time is it? Oh my goodness, I got Fly Dot. Dot was my great aunt on my husband's side type of thing. Norm always used to say, we got a Fly Dot. Well, that's what we're going to do. We're going to go Fly Dot. Well, with a couple of wrong turns, I finally found it. I just didn't go down far enough. But this is the Cotton Warehouse. It's the Farm Fresh Farmers Market. They've probably got a variety of things. It looks like it's an open air market mostly, but I'm going to come and check out the booths down here. Talk to my friend Calvin, look around a little bit, and decide if I want to have a booth down here. I've got one open, so we'll see what happens. It's in an old warehouse, no air or heat. So that's something you do have to deal with here, which I already knew from my friend Calvin. But we'll just look around, see what they got. A lot of the estate companies have booths. That's my friend Calvin down there. He's putting a box of free stuff that I think he said his nephew brought him. All of these booths, all down through here, all of these are his. He's got 4 of them. Huge booths. The one I'm gonna look at is a 16 by 16 for $50 a month. You can't beat it. If I'm willing to make the drive. That's a big one. Alrighty then. Let's see what's on the other side. So this is the booth. It's not empty yet. The lady still has her stuff in it, but it's a 16 by 16. It goes from here back to the post back here, across, up to the front. Of course, it's all open space. That's a good deal. She's got lights strung, but there are lights above, so I could string lights just like this vendor did. That'd probably be simple. She's just got for tables though, which of course I've got tables and all that from my shop. Still got that from my estate sales and things, so I could bring that up here if I wanted to use tables or shelves or whatever. The nicest thing is that right there, right across from my booth. The only thing I'd have to be careful with would be rain. Nice breeze coming through here because this has, again, no air and heat. I'd have to be careful of things blowing over. That's the only thing I'd have to really watch, as you can see. I'd have to secure things or know that it could fall on that concrete floor, so. But a lot of what I'd be putting down here, I'm paying $125 for a 10 by 20 non-climate controlled booth that is the last of the things that I've liquidated from some of my estates and things, and that I haven't pulled out to list on eBay. This would be primarily the kind of stuff that you're seeing here. It's just stuff that I don't want to donate, but I could get a few bucks for. I don't know. Thinking maybe. Might be a good deal. What do you think? Will she or won't she junk here?